It's... I'm really glad that you're gay and not straight.
I know, how could you resist? Right.
Life is a river, wherever it's flowing. Jump on a bus, who knows where it's going? Stayed out all night, careless and carefree, together. Where is that girl? Is she long gone or missing? No, she's right here, 'cause it's time for the 2012 reunion!
Woo!
You're listening to
Pod of the Pops, the podcast for reliving and reloving pop culture. Series 1, The Spice Girls, solo careers. Welcome back to Pod of the Pops, the Spice Girls podcast that recounts their solo careers leading up to the 2019 reunion, reminding you of all the facts and musical knowledge that you never bothered to research for yourself.
That's why we're here.
That's, well, more likely that everyone else on Twitter seems to know far more about it than me.
We're educating ourselves.
Yeah, thank you for joining in. So this is a slightly special episode, as so many of them are, because the Spice Girls are messy in terms of reunion plans.
Yep.
So this is just clearing up all the last minute reunion bits that never quite happened or did happen. Basically everything between 2007 to 2019 that we ain't already done. All right?
So strap it.
This is all those things that you probably thought I knew nothing about. But I do. We do actually get a lot during this time. Literally, once again, giving us everything.
As always.
So the first thing on my list is the Brits 2010.
Mm-hmm.
They win Best British Performance of the past 30 years.
That's a very specific award, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they were just, in 2010, they were celebrating 30 years of the Brits.
Right, yeah.
Rather than they just chose a 30-year time period and decided to...
Because the artists from before then were, they couldn't compete with them.
Yeah, obviously.
So we just cut it off at 30.
So there was, I think it was a big public vote. They
see.
definitely had narrowed it down to a number of performances, and they were looking for the most iconic performance of the Brits, which they awarded to, of course, the 1997 performance of Who Do You Think You Are?
I mean, it seems like a very worthy winner, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I know what the other... I can't remember what the other... I didn't bother to look up what the other ones were.
Because there's no point.
They won.
They won.
End
We
of.
won. This is the Spice Girls podcast, not the You Didn't Quite Make It B podcast. So Geri and Melby attend to collect the award, and they both look incredible. Geri is going through that goddess phase where she had the long golden hair and she seemed to only wear white.
Yes.
And she never walked anywhere, she just floated. Because I remember, I think I was at uni at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I was writing blog posts about things. I think I was writing a Brit thing. I just remember thinking, oh my God, she looked like laminated. She was just so shiny and glowing.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a shady, like, plastic surgery way.
No, she really did look glowing. It was all like yoga on it.
Was she
Around that
still
time?
doing yoga?
I don't
then?
know. She's meant to be, right?
Oh,
Look at
yeah.
that stomach. She must be.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I did yoga one time and now I'm a size 2. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
Melby also looked really good. She was also in white and she had like this... I was always confused by this haircut. It was the time when people had like half a shaved head and then the really long hair.
Yeah.
I just
Quite
always-
distinctive.
Yeah, I just always thought, how is that going to grow back?
I thought she looked sick, man. She looked really cool.
They both look great and they looked like they were having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Geri was talking a lot,
As always.
waiting for something to land.
Yeah.
And you could see Mel being a bit like, all right. But like, it's that friendly banter that they have and they collect the award. And it's a really nice moment.
And I suppose the last time, am I right in saying the last time they got an award at the Brits, Geri was in the audience and did not come up on the stage to get the Lifetime Achievement Award with them?
Yes, not Lifetime Achievement.
Oh.
It was called Great Achievement in Music or something. They didn't call it a Lifetime. It was Outstanding.
That's right, sorry.
Achievement.
I
yes.
sound
as
but
good as.
Yeah, it's good dance, yeah.
It's the award that they give when they want you to show up. I think One Direction got something similar, didn't they? They got the outstanding world
Pink
record
got
sales.
it this year, yeah.
Yeah, she did.
She was like the first non-British person to get it.
Which, like, congratulations to Pink. Like, she's obviously a very worthy person.
Yeah.
But the first winner of that is a surprise.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't want to take
Maybe I'm talking rubbish.
No, I think
anyway,
you're right. I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't. So you're right. That was the only. Geri was nominated 4 times in total.
I
So
see.
she got a nomination she got 2 in 2000, and she got 1 in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Mel C got a nomination, maybe a win in 2001.
Right.
So yeah,
So no wonder she got up and chatted away. I mean, she was Geri, but of course she did. But
and also that performance is very. Geri went a long way to winning that.
Yes.
The iconic image of her in the Union Jack dress
Yeah.
at an award called the Brit Awards. That
She has to be the winner.
It's Geri's moment, in fairness.
Oh,
As well as everybody
did you
else.
say
But
that? Yeah.
but I don't mean it's only her moment. I'm just saying is that
It's her moment.
yeah, it's iconic.
Yeah, and all the imagery from that, you see those pictures still fly around. They are literally iconic.
Yeah.
A word that's thrown around a lot these days, but
Mm-hmm.
we didn't really hear much from them as a group until the summer of 2012. 2012 is a really big Spice Girl year,
Yes.
which is why it gets its own slightly separate episode. As ever with the Spice Girls, the world's worst kept secret.
Yep.
I think people knew before the Olympics were invented that that the Spice Girls would be performing at the ceremony.
Yes.
Although I don't know whether I just really didn't want to miss it,
Mm.
but I didn't know. I thought it was the opening ceremony. So what we're talking about is the London 2012 Olympics,
Yes.
which was a huge deal over here in the UK.
Yeah.
I know we have a lot of listeners elsewhere. This is a UK podcast.
Yeah.
It was, for the UK, it was our most successful event on record. So we took 65 medals, which is more than we'd taken since 1908.
Amazing.
May not be a musical theatre gay, not a
History
sports
game.
gay. But it was really made big stars at that moment. So Jessica Ennis had a huge moment. It was a huge moment for Usain Bolt and lots of other British artists in a lot
Tom
of...
Daley, maybe?
Yeah, Tom Daley, I think he was already quite well known.
Yes.
But like lots of athletes in fields that maybe people wouldn't normally watch.
Yes.
The country was behind it. It was everywhere and there was a real thrive.
Yeah.
People were genuinely feeling national pride. And for British people, that is not always the case.
And that is now long gone.
Exactly. Well, we had it in 2012. Never again. But,
Yeah, maybe let's not link the two.
but yeah, I could see why you would maybe worry that they might not have made the Olympics because they didn't make 2005's Live 8.
I remember not believing they were going to perform, just thinking it was still rumours, until I saw them on stage.
Oh, I believed they were going to perform, but I didn't want to miss it if it was the opening ceremony.
Yeah.
So I was in Birmingham for the opening ceremony and I went to watch it in like a square, but they were playing it on this big screen. But it was really quiet and there weren't lots of people around and I was in my Union Jack vest. I was ready from New Look. Thank you, Geri Collection. And I was like ready and I was with my friend Charlotte. And it was so quiet and I was like, we have to get this. So I went and found like an organiser and I was like, you must turn this up. I was really like adamant. I was like, you must
That's
turn
really
up.
unlike you. Just on Saturday night there, Aaron was demanding the local village pub had a special shot called apple sewers, which is something we probably used to drink at about 17 or 18.
I am in my 30s now. I can't handle Sambuca like I used to.
Yes.
I need a reasonable
You need
shot.
nostalgia all the time.
Yes.
If you are looking for sponsorship opportunities, apple sours.
Apple
Please
sours
ask
to
me.
me is a very Spice Girls drink as well. Do
Thank
know what I
you.
mean?
They have a colour for every girl. I was being
Exactly.
sporty, and
Yes.
I'm not a musical theatre gay. But the opening ceremony was very good. So I did watch it all. My favourite part was I loved it when they were it was trying to celebrate all things British, wasn't it? And one of the
Yes.
things they
Yeah.
celebrated was the NHS.
I loved it. The socialist in me was dying.
Yeah, and they were and you just saw all these nurses wheeling out all these white beds, and you were like, oh, That's where the beds are.
Oh.
Not in the hospitals, guys.
Tory cuts.
But we did get, so it was the closing ceremony that
Yeah.
the girls were performing at.
Mhm.
Where were you when you watched it, guys?
I was actually living in London at the time, but I mean, I was so busy with work. The unfortunate thing was I never got tickets to anything.
Did you try? Did you go and
I tried to register, but I actually had my friend working at the Olympics and staying with me, and she was a first aider, and I was getting all these crazy tales of her antics, including getting off with an armed policeman and some cupboard somewhere. She had some fun.
There's
Great
a novel in
Olympics. Yep. I mean, and she got to see the closing ceremony, and she said it was just, the atmosphere was incredible.
I know a few of the aerialists. I wasn't doing aerial at the time, or I'd only just started doing circus.
Mm-hmm.
I know a few of the aerialists that performed. I'm not sure whether that was the closing or opening, but they just said it was just an incredible experience. It was really well run, they said, for artists.
Yeah. I remember I was in my house watching it with my parents, and I actually wrote a status about it on Facebook, just saying how hot Baby still looked.
Wow.
You know, my girl crush.
Yeah.
You were not the only person. It was the Spice Girls performance was the most tweeted moment of the year. There were 116,000 tweets per minute.
Wow.
Just even more than our last podcast. Only just. I was in Edinburgh. I was at the Edinburgh Festival.
Yeah.
And the BBC bubble had a tent. So I was there. I think I was with Joe Lycett's parents, actually, because everyone was rounding together. And me and our mutual friend Laura had gone, and we'd taken a picnic.
Mm-hmm.
So we were no one else had come prepared with a picnic, and it was long.
Yes.
So we were just sort of handing out crisps and biscuits,
I love
probably
it.
apple sours, the little version.
Yeah.
So we had a great time, and I was obviously in my Union Jack vest. But because there'd been images that had come out in the week before of the Spice Girls on black taxis or around black taxis, I know the minute anytime a taxi appeared, I began screaming. So if you were in Edinburgh Festival for this performance, I was the screaming guy that left the minute the Spice Girls finished. So they were in the show that was entitled A Symphony of British Music. 23 million viewers in the UK. 750 million globally.
That is an insane amount.
You can't even comprehend the numbers.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can see why Victoria's we can leave it at that. And why Mel C, originally said, we can leave it at that.
I mean, they still say to this day that's probably the biggest thing we'll ever do.
You could never
You can't
top it.
do more than that.
No.
I mean, in interviews afterwards, they were saying they were still buzzing and high, weren't they?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Well, they were apparently reluctant at first.
Oh, really?
Well, no, what you mean is a few members were reluctant at first.
Well,
Mel B would have been like, hell yeah. Jerry would have been like, hell yeah.
you're right, actually. I doubt Jerry took a lot of encouragement. Mel B at that time was getting back into music. Yeah, you're probably right. Those two were not. I can't see Emma turning down an opportunity.
No.
Okay, so maybe Mel C and Victoria were reluctant. Well, apparently they believed the show was being staged at a minimal cost. And they were worried about that and how it might look. I mean, if you think of Olympic events before and the UK's involvement, there were a lot of news stories coming out before the Olympics as well, especially around security and how things have been organised.
Yeah. If there was, I remember the vibe before, actually, because it was costing so much money, and at least amongst Londoners, I remember that everybody was starting to get kind of resentful of it. Which was unfortunate, but kind of understandable, because it started, to play havoc with people's lives. But then once it started, all that kind of bad vibes melted away, really.
Yeah. Well, the Spice Girls made it, but there were a lot of acts that did turn it down.
Oh, really?
The Rolling Stones.
Oh.
Surprises me.
David Bowie.
Oh.
The Sex Pistols. Kate Bush and the Libertines. All turned it down.
Right. I mean,
Libertines.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Explains why Emelie Sande had to sing so many times. I remember it being Emelie Sande's Olympics.
I mean, I feel like, I'm surprised at the Rolling Stones. I am not surprised at Kate Bush, because, she doesn't love live. She needs to be in control of everything. Shout out any crossover Spice Girls Kate Bush fans.
Please. Me hundreds of screaming gays out there.
Yeah. But what were the other ones? The
Sex Pistols and David Bowie.
Okay.
Can I just say, there'll be no monetary payment for appearing, so that's why I know the lip
but the boost to your record sales,
Yes.
and to your future, and to your.
It's self-promotion at its best.
I suppose, right, with the
because there was a bit of controversy with George Michael.
Yes.
Because he performed and he went on and sang a track from his new album, and there was a bit of
should have been the classics.
Yeah, but I think the defence was that song was about his fans, and it was about how they'd helped him get through a really tough time.
Right.
So
R.I.P.
Yeah,
George.
So he had a reason there.
Okay, well, the Sex Pistols, I could have kind of imagined that potentially they would have been told that they would have needed to be censored.
Oh, okay.
So I can understand why they wouldn't have done it. I mean, Bowie I guess it just doesn't quite fancy it. Won't do it. But that's a shame. It would have been great.
Now that is a real shame as well.
That is, yeah.
More room for Jessie J.
Who looked hot.
Yeah.
Well, they don't appear until 20 minutes in. It was a long 20 minutes. I was like, where are my girls? But when they did appear, they nailed it. So I thought, outfit-wise, they really nailed it. They took their characters and they updated them perfectly. I want to see some of this on the current tour.
Yeah.
I hope it's a similar vibe.
So Victoria's in her classic little black dress, but it's got this long, high fashion tail to it.
Beautiful.
And her legs for days.
I thought that might have been a bit hard to walk in though.
I mean, this is the woman who walks constantly in heels.
But I mean, it could get stuck under or...
I think it was a risk on top of a taxi.
I know.
Blowing away.
I think the entire thing was a risk.
Of all the girls, she was most nervous on top of that taxi.
Yeah.
As soon as the looks, so then you had Emma, she was in this baby pink dress with the shoulders.
Yeah.
She looked incredible. Mel C had this up-to-date white jumpsuit that was sort of a nod to the tracksuit look.
Yeah.
Very sophisticated with a sleek pony.
Yeah.
Clever.
Mel B was in her, as we mentioned in previous episodes, and
unitard.
Yeah, encrusted ever so slightly with a leopard print, and then the homemade shoes that she
loved it. Yeah.
thrown together.
What is a unitard?
Just like an all-over leotard. Sort of. Maybe unisexual is where it comes from. I might be using the word wrong.
No, I think you're right.
Thank you. Fashion. And then Geri's in this updated version of the Union Jack dress, which is this sort of red dress with the, what would you call the back sort of bow bit?
Union Jack flags almost coming
out. Like, it's a bit of a... Oh, it's like a bustle.
Yeah, I was thinking bustle. Their taxis were individualised.
Love it.
So they start flashing. It was a big look. And they burst straight into Wannabe. Victoria's taxi's late. She nearly misses the lineup for Wannabe. She gets there just in time.
Yeah.
My favourite gif, I've only just found it recently. So when they're doing the rap for Wannabe, 4 of the girls are really jumping around, enjoying themselves, having a party. And Victoria stands to one side and strikes her classic Victoria pose, just slightly off to the side, which is perfect. It's exactly what she should have done. The others are all jumping around.
We're singing live.
Well, there is a bit... I don't think her mic was switched on the whole time, but when they go into Spice Up Your Life, she does... You can distinctly hear her voice saying, "We moonwalk the foxtrots."
Yes.
Whether that's live vocals, I don't know. But I like to think it was. Although I can't see Victoria being like, "Yes, please, let me sing," whilst clinging onto the top of a taxi for dear life while I'm hurtled around the Olympic Stadium. I would forgive her for no live vocals on that.
I would forgive the click tracks, I have to say.
The taxi thing is a brilliant move. I think it's great, but risk... Because most of them were in heels. I think maybe Mel C wasn't. You couldn't see through the trousers.
Yeah. I mean...
It's brave, isn't it?
It is brave. And
they weren't strapped in. They just had a little bar to hold on to.
When I saw that, I was like, did somebody think this through?
There's 2 people stood behind them that you see right in it. I've watched it a few times.
Yeah.
There's 2 people jump on the back of the taxi. But what good they're going to do if Victoria goes flying?
Yeah.
She only weighs about 4 pound wet through. She's going straight into the audience. And Geri didn't want to hold on. She's like, when you get on a roller coaster, and you're trying to have your hands in the air. That's how Geri imagined she was going to play that.
Yes.
Right at the end, there's another gif. She does get a rough ride out of the gifs of this. There is the taxi moves and she's not expecting it and she's not holding on because she's struck her arm in the air pose and she has to quickly grab it. Anyway, it's a great 3-second loop. And throughout the next 10 seconds, all you can hear in Victoria's head is, "Get me off of this taxi. This dress is dry clean only, Melanie." She was not loving that taxi moment. No. At all.
No.
But news stories said that Victoria was not very happy around the point. She had really bad stage fright.
Right.
Up until just like moments before, the other girls were having to cajole her and really calm her down and say, you know, you look incredible. That's all you have to do is walk out there and just be you.
Yes.
And I
think it took a lot to get her there.
Yeah, and I think you can see that on her. And, you know, with the other girls, it's not as obvious. I think they do have that real showbiz presence.
Yeah.
But I think the taxis were also a good idea because it did take away from the dancing. You know, Victoria's a great dancer, or was a great dancer back in the day. I don't know how confident she is now, but it was quite a good way of getting them all, you know, putting on a great show, but minimal dancing.
I mean, by 2012, Victoria wouldn't have performed on stage musically for the best part of a decade, 8-9 years.
Yeah.
And she was a great dancer. Of all the dancers, she probably did the
2007.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I know what you mean. You can get rusty really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, fair play to her for, you know, pulling out of the bag. And it could have gone very badly. There could have been some horrible injury. Like, it was risky.
Victoria does also get a second moment in this closing ceremony. She had a dress appear in the fashion section, which was worn by Georgia May Jagger.
Lovely.
Victoria Beckham's Olympics.
Yeah.
By the point of the Olympics 2012, we had already had an announcement of a new musical in the works for the girls. So in June 2012, the 5 girls reunited on the St Pancras Renaissance London Hotel, where 16 years previously they had filmed the video for Wannabe on those famous steps. And they announced that there would be a jukebox musical from the back catalogue with a book written by Jennifer Saunders and production by Judy Kramer.
Now, when I heard this dream team line up...
All women, maybe out.
Yeah, all women. Yeah. And Jennifer Saunders, huge success in so much comedy writing and writing for different kinds of arts as well. Very funny. And then Judy Kramer
intricately linked to the Spice Girls
as
well. So she'd appeared in the Who Do You Think You Are video. She'd appeared in Spice World the movie.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've talked before about Emma appearing in Ab Fab. Jennifer Saunders is a huge American crossover as well. So Ab Fab was big in the States. It was a global success. Yeah. So their paths have sort of weaved in between lots of times.
Yeah. So it made lots of sense, this hiring.
Oh, there was no one else.
Nobody else. And Judy Kramer, I've been a big fan of hers for a long time. She's a really smart person, so hugely successful.
The biggest success that we know her for is she was the producer for Mamma Mia, which is also another jukebox musical based on a pop band.
Yeah.
So seems like the right choice of people.
Yes.
Yeah. It was all going so well.
Yeah.
Well, with Judy Kramer, they reportedly, Geri and Emma took her to lunch and begged her to be part of it. She wasn't sure at first.
Right.
And they said, you know, look, you're the only person for this. And she sat down and listened to the music. And she thought, yeah, I think this is the right thing. I can do this.
Yeah.
So it opens in London's West End at the Piccadilly Theatre in December of the same year. Before we talk about the show, can we talk about the opening night? So Victoria nearly didn't make it. She didn't walk the red carpet with the other girls.
She did not. I remember really a lot of people commented on this.
Yes. She walked it with her family. So it did come across as shady at the time.
Yeah.
Particularly because the other girls were all very dressed up. They looked great.
Yeah.
Geri had gone the mostest. She was in this pale china blue ball gown dress. It was huge at the bottom.
Yes.
Very reminiscent of the dress she wore when she sang at Prince Charles's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Her first stepping out. That was my first thing I thought. And they all were wearing a one colour dress. I wonder whether that was something they said. Uniformly be matching. Whereas Victoria is in a casual shirt and tailored trousers.
She's
with
wearing
jacket
in
over her
black,
shoulders.
right? Is it black that she's wearing?
I think you would describe it as navy,
Okay.
but I would describe it as black.
But okay, she's wearing a dark colour. I remember being so excited seeing it months before on the tube. All of the poster was it was quite a fresh design. It was a girl in like standing in a kind of abstract design of a girl like with her arms in triumph over the Union Jack.
Yeah.
And it,
really hitting home that Union Jack vibe.
Yeah.
It was so fresh at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Geri designed it with the help of Next.
Yeah. And the fact that they all actually had come up with the plan of wearing all those colours and did stick to that plan going to the premiere.
Yeah.
It looked great.
I haven't found anything that suggested it. I wonder if Victoria was late. Like something else had happened. She'd been delayed. So
Maybe.
she'd planned to walk the red carpet with them.
Yeah.
And she'd planned to wear a different dress, probably black. And something had happened and she'd not been able to.
Well, that
I
could
don't
happen.
think so.
You think that was a choice?
I think that was a choice. I think she's been very vocal that the Olympics was the last time she will perform, and I don't mean that they won't hang out, because obviously they have hung out since. But I think her family are definitely her safety blanket, and I think she does feel uncomfortable around some of the girls.
And she wanted to make the statement, "I'm not a Spice Girl, I'm a Beckham."
Yeah.
There's also the thing of how much involvement did she have in the musical compared to the other girls?
She appears in the documentary. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah.
Although we don't see a lot of her involved in the rehearsals and things there.
Yeah.
But, she just...
She was supportive of it.
She appeared at the launch.
Yeah.
She spoke about it during that time.
Yeah.
And she's very supportive of everything the Spice Girls do. I mean,
Of
if you think
course.
about the publicity that's happening now,
Yeah.
in 2019, and the interviews she's doing, she's very supportive Spice.
Yeah.
I did go.
You did.
I went with some friends. So I went to previews. So I went before the launch.
So you didn't pay?
I did pay.
But it was
paid
just price.
good money, but it was the week leading up.
Okay.
And so at that point, for those of you that may not know, in preview sessions, often little last minute changes are happening. Often there'll be rehearsal during the day. So after a preview, the director will assess, and there might be little changes
There were
here
a lot
and
of
there.
changes.
Yes.
So did you read the reviews before you went?
No.
So you went in blind?
Because there would have not been a press night yet.
No.
There is press night after previews.
Okay, so that's good. You went in with fresh eyes.
I did.
Yes.
Thoughts?
So I was super excited.
Yeah.
This was making up for the fact I didn't get to go to the 2007 reunion concert. I was like, this is my chance.
Yeah.
I was hoping there might be a Spice Girl in the audience. Either way, there I was in my Union Jack vest. I got my money's worth out of that bad boy.
Was it busy?
Well, it was sold out, I think. I had on my platform trainers, I had my little bottle of wine in my bag.
Amazing.
It was very middle class, like middle-aged, middle-mooded. As you know, I am not a musical theatre gay, so I don't know what the audience usually like at these things. But I thought it would... I definitely went in there feeling like the most... Way
Spice Girl-esque person. Yeah.
Well, the most, like, leveled up,
yeah.
and then having to, like, feeling like toning it down, like I couldn't be too cray.
Right.
Like, no one else was dressed up.
I see.
Because I thought there would be people dressed up, but that vibe wasn't really there. It wasn't party.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing I would say.
I imagine that in preview season, it's kind of people who would go are local theatre goers, regular theatre goers, because they want to know what's happening with it. And maybe that they understand what previews mean, really, I guess. You're not going to get...
I just felt it meant, like, chance to see it slightly cheaper.
Yeah, there is an element of that. But I think hen parties and stuff going to it, that's not going to really kick in until after press. Yeah.
It felt like a Mamma Mia audience. I felt like some of it was weak.
Yes.
And I really wanted it to be good. I really wanted it to be good.
You would out of everyone.
Yeah. And I felt they dealt with the songs really well. I felt they dealt with the songs really well, and I felt that they had a really good mix of the songs. So they used album tracks and some solo stuff, although I believe that changed around a little bit as well.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really strong because it's a nod you've got all of the hits in there.
Yeah.
But then there's also a nod to the fans who would know this song. And I like being at somewhere where I know something maybe everyone doesn't know.
Yes.
But then that's nice if you're new to it, because then you're hearing a new song that maybe you didn't know and you can rediscover. I thought that was really well. And they did some nice mixes.
Yeah.
Like they mixed Headlines with Mama, I think it was.
Right.
And they overlaid 2 songs and it was really nice. And
And Headlines?
they did, yeah.
That really
I
surprises
think
me.
they did it twice.
Oh.
Well, when I saw it, I think it had but
Right.
they changed the songs. They didn't.
Yeah.
Of course.
So the arrangements are different.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember seeing a clip where it was like the music executive who's singing "Who Do You Think You Are" towards the main character.
Yeah.
And I remember I always like seeing an old song in a new context. So I remember seeing in the documentary and seeing that clip, being like, that's really clever. I really like that.
That was one of the nicest interludes into a song.
Right. Yeah.
They weren't always like that. So the music I thought was handled really well. There was some really nice stuff in there. The acting was very good. The dancing was good. I hate saying it.
But you're gonna.
The story was weak.
Right. Yeah.
I really feel it falls down to the book.
Yeah.
Could you give us a quick sort of...
Yeah.
Because it has changed since we watched the programme.
Yeah, so the story is about, it's an X Factor style show. So it's all based around this X Factor journey, which in 2012 already felt weak and dated.
Yeah.
I didn't need it.
It's like, it's a story we've already heard.
Yeah. And then also it's centred around 4 girls that start off together auditioning as a group. And as they progress through the stages, they're told 3 of them aren't strong enough. And one of them, Viva, the lead character,
Victoria,
she goes through without them, and so it's this, she leaves her friends, and then there's this journey of her coming back to her friends and only wanting to perform with her friends. But there's some other complicated stories going on. Like she has this Viva girl has this weird birth mother storyline, so she's adopted, which is really nice and interesting. But there's this sort of undercurrent that suggests that the Sharon Osbourne judge type is her real mum, because this judge had given up a child, but that never comes out. What? I don't know if I was reading too much into it.
Wow.
But
why would they include those?
Spoiler alert.
Why would they include those details?
Because I saw a preview. I don't know whether they were taking things out or they hadn't finished tidying things
so
up.
it wasn't quite a
and that wouldn't have been in the reviews.
Right.
If that is the case, it was pretty obvious anyway. She also ends up going to Spain at some point. I think it was judges' houses. And there's this, she falls in love a bit, and it just felt unnecessary.
Yeah.
But the thing that got me the most was, this is the Spice Girls story, and it's about friendship, and it sucked enough that Geri left.
Yes.
So if you're not telling that story, please don't tell a story of 4 girls, and then one of them leaves. Like, if you want to tell the story of girl power, you've done it the wrong way round.
Yeah.
It should have been about 4 girls that enter a process, and then are told, we don't know if you're strong enough on your own. Can you try and make it work as a group?
That makes so much more sense.
Of course, I don't know how no one saw this.
Unless they had that idea and they were told, that was too close to the original.
Well, if you bear in mind, it was only a year earlier, Little Mix had been put together as a winning group.
Yeah.
Who were then going on to, it just feels so much more current and relevant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the overall storyline just sounds so damn predictable. I mean, you have to all the elements have to be performing extra good to compensate for a book like that.
The saving grace of it was funny.
Right. Okay.
So it was very Jennifer Saunders funny. So
Yeah.
it was very current, pop entertainment, that sort of slightly sarky. And some of the characters were really funny. Like the adopted mum was very funny.
Yeah.
There was some great zingers.
Yeah.
Good.
So I really like Jennifer Saunders. I'm saying at the top, I think she's very important to British comedy. She's achieved an awful lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've spent a lot of time working on Jennifer Saunders pieces. I spent a lot of time working with some absolutely fabulous stuff. As a result, I know the way she works a little bit, not from working with her, but from looking at her work. And so, rumour has it, none of the scripts for Absolutely Fabulous were finished by the time they started recording, by the time they were on set.
I see.
She works in a very
ad hoc, almost
improvisey way, I'd say. She works with actors and actresses. She works with the people, and that will come from her a lot of the time working in partnerships.
Yeah.
And this was the first time she'd written for the theatre in this way. Certainly the first time she'd written a musical.
Right.
I don't know whether she was supported enough in that process. process.
Yeah.
And whether, she had this script that relies on her
Mm.
way of working, which is incorporating other people and working,
Yeah.
and whether that had the time to get up there.
It's a real shame. I would have personally loved to have seen a musical about, like you said, about the girls and their journey, but I would have liked to have seen it in maybe 10 years. I just feel like when they were still current, as in they were still performing, it would have been nice to have something to look back on when they were in retirement.
Maybe like a bit of a big reunion style story,
Oh,
like how you deal with it afterwards.
No.
I could see that.
Oh, guys, Erin has got me right into Big Reunion. Even though it was out in like 2014, I can't get enough right now.
I mentioned it in an earlier episode. She'd never seen it, and I made you watch it. And
Justice
now you love
for...
Girl Thing.
No.
Lindsay.
Oh, Justice for Lindsay with a Z.
So I think perhaps there wasn't enough rehearsal time scheduled. It sounds like the development process, maybe there just wasn't enough time for, or maybe, as you say, Jennifer was not used to devising a story with people in a rehearsal room.
Yeah.
And that's maybe where it fell down. I feel like what would probably been better if it was a collaboration between Jennifer and a much more experienced playwright.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's that, because I think what's unfortunate, and I'm going to read the reviews in a minute, things do fall at Jennifer Saunders' door. And I think that might be slightly harsh.
Yeah.
Although I do think it falls down to the book.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you can support that process. There's so many more other people in place that could have been going, months in advance. I feel like we might need to pick this up, or, you have notes going through.
But maybe it is her status, if she's a very well-known writer for sitcoms, maybe
Perhaps
people are
you're right.
thinking, they're putting her on a pedestal almost. And I think writing a sitcom compared, a series or a story for that compared to writing a play, I don't have much experience, but I reckon they're probably completely different
I think if
things.
she's written movies,
Quite-
but off the top of my
Quite
head.
different.
Because, with a sitcom you can say, cut, let's try it this way, but, live theatre is, that, it's live and it's raw and it's in front of you,
Yeah.
and you've got to be,
And
you've got to
also-
know the game.
Yeah, what works on somebody's TV screen does not necessarily work in front of a live audience playing every night. There has to be a complete journey in a musical.
Definitely.
That's what people go for.
There was a journey.
Yeah,
There was
but
a
was
journey.
there enough?
To Spain?
but like, it sounds to me like it was a journey, but it was like you knew the destination before it even begun.
I think, not quite, but yeah, that's fair but not fair. I think it could have recovered story-wise with a bit of time, and I think it would have just got stronger, but...
What was the ending?
Well, the reviews were savage.
Oof.
And what really killed Viva Forever, with an exclamation mark, I bet that was Victoria's input, she loves an exclamation mark, is that the reviews were universally savage.
Yeah.
And they destroyed it. So
that's what stopped me from going, I'll be honest.
Right? The Telegraph said, I'll tell you what I wanted, what I really, really wanted. I wanted this terrible show to stop.
Oh.
I shall not dwell on the plot because, goodness knows, Jennifer Saunders, its writer, certainly hasn't done. Viva Forever marks the West End coming to an unequivocal dead end.
Wow.
The Guardian said, the real problem is the songs. For one thing, there aren't enough memorable hits in a career that lasted for 3 albums to support 2 hours of theatre.
I really disagree with that, but yeah.
Well, that's the tone all the way through, really.
Yeah.
Bad script, lack of experience in Saunders, and not enough hits to carry the show.
Right.
Gloomy story.
I wonder if that was all men writing that. It'd be interesting to hear a review from someone of our age in that era.
Yeah.
Because, we are slightly biased, let's be honest. We love the whole Spice Girls and the girl power, and you can still remember that excitement in your stomach. But, if you're maybe like an older gentleman that, wasn't involved in that process, maybe it is a different reaction.
Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. It was definitely good. It was not that bad. It was not that bad.
Yeah.
At all.
But then I suppose they're comparing it to, Lion King, Billy Elliot, all the West End shows.
Yes, yeah.
That's
Maybe
the
it shouldn't have
difference.
gone. Maybe if they'd started if they'd started smaller and built up.
Yeah.
Well, it makes you wonder about this proposed Britney musical. So there is a proposed Broadway musical. I think it's going straight to Broadway as well.
Right.
Which is...
Is it Domination?
No. I do know what it's called.
It's something about Baby One More Time.
Yeah, it's Once Upon a Time.
Okay.
Maybe Once Upon a Time. So it's like 5 Disney princesses get together and they think there's more to life than happily ever after or something.
Okay.
Happily ever after one more time.
Right.
Something like that, some pun.
Right.
Yeah.
But it makes you wonder, I hope they've learned the lessons of other musicals.
Yes.
But maybe in America they might be less harsh.
Yeah.
Because there is that real fun element, whilst over here West End plays, are pretty serious and...
Yes and no. But I see what you mean. Yeah, like Americans are much quicker to get up and...
More forgiving.
More forgiving, they are.
Yes. There was also so much expectation, because this is around the time when Mamma Mia just exploded movie-wise.
Yeah.
So going into this musical... all the press around it is saying this is the girls' legacy, this is their retirement fund, this is them,
something that
really
could last for years,
solidifying their status as a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah,
they were talking movie before the script had even been started.
Yeah.
I remember, and maybe I am harsh towards Jennifer Saunders because I did spend a lot of time trying to email her in advance of this musical for a role. But I didn't know her contact details, so I literally tried every possible combination of Jennifer Saunders at Gmail, Hotmail, hello@jsaunders.com.
She's probably not even got one of those ones.
I must have made hundreds of combinations of emails to try and get a role in Viva Forever.
Oh, wow.
And then even when I was watching it, there was like one character that I felt I could nail that. And I was thinking, when the movie comes out, I'll be big enough. I mean, I don't want to say I caused this, but if you'd put me in it, I could have saved this.
Do maybe Victoria is a bit smarter than what we might have thought about this. Maybe she didn't have a good feeling about this musical, and her going with her family and maybe shying away.
Herself.
She is a very smart woman that makes good business choices, and maybe she could see. Even by going to rehearsals or seeing some of the footage, this isn't going the way that I want it to be.
I don't think she would have let it get that far.
No.
Would she have had that power to have said stop? But how much influence did the Spice Girls have on it, really? I don't know.
I mean, it was Emma and Geri leading it, right?
I wouldn't...
I mean, that was
I don't know how much they had involved.
I think they were more involved as a pair.
Emma said, I mean, it seemed very much like Emma was one of the leaders of it. She was the one that went to... Was it Jennifer? I feel like I remember from the documentary, she went with the idea of this is something we should do, like a proposal. Yeah, so it did come from them initially, the whole concept of doing it.
Yeah.
But then obviously it kind of a lot. The thing about theatre making is that something you have hundreds of people involved, and especially a musical, it's like a film. You just have hundreds of people involved, and it can get taken away from you. It's the fact that there's so many people involved, so many cooks of the pot, that it can get muddied very easily.
Well, we do get a documentary, and that's always a nice takeaway. And it's a good one.
It is.
Spice Girls story,
Yep.
Viva Forever, ! Thanks, Victoria. It was another Christmas treat. My family left me in a room with a bottle of wine to enjoy.
Dangerous.
The Twitchings are generous when it comes to a Spice Girls documentary.
They know how important it is to you.
They just hate it. And it's a good documentary. There's this really heartwarming moment that we've discussed before when Geri is listening to their interpretation of Goodbye.
Yeah.
It feels quite cathartic.
Yeah.
All of the past is gone, and it's just sort of mutual respect for each other. And it's a shame that it didn't get to just tell their story.
Yeah.
Never mind the pain or the aggravation. You know there's a better way for you and me to be. Look for the rainbow in every storm. Fly like an angel, heaven sent to me. Goodbye, my friend. It's not the end.
What I feel about the Spice Girls is they're kind of rich in themes. the fact that friendship was something that they wrote their songs about, and that obviously as 5 women together and going through this incredible experience of being famous, that friendship was incredibly important and friendship was forever. I'm interested in the dynamics of friendship because I think women and friendship, means different things. Rivalry, envy, at the same time a kind of support system. So that very much interested me. What would happen in any group of friends if suddenly one was missing?
For the rainbow in every storm, find out for certain love's gonna be there for you. You'll always be someone's baby. Though you've gone since you're gone, I can still feel you here. I gotta keep strong for the pain. So glad we made it. Time will never change it. No, no.
And it is announced on the 2nd of May that the show was to close after only 7 months, with a loss of 5 million.
Ooh.
I don't know who takes that hit. Presumably you have investors and
Yeah.
it's spread, because
Yeah.
that's a big blow. It's a disappointment. I don't think it's any one person's blame.
No.
I think there would have been lots of opportunities to salvage it, and I think had the reviews not been so critical,
It
it would have done.
Yeah.
I think it would have bounced.
Because it does have, it sounds like the perfect thing that lots of hen parties, lots of people of our generation would go see on a weekend night,
And it's not like a movie where you just pop in and give it a chance, and then you'd hear from word of mouth,
Yeah.
it's not as bad as that.
Yeah.
This is a big thing. Like, it's
Yeah.
in London, you have to travel down, you get a hotel room, you eat, like,
Mhm.
this is a big, you
It's
have
an
to plan and
event.
go.
Yeah.
And if you're putting that much investment into something, you have to know it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So
That's
what
why
minute
reviews
reviews like that
matter.
are,
Yeah.
it's just kill it.
Yeah.
Such a shame. Such a shame. Because I really do think it could have been saved.
It is a kind of regret of mine that because I was living in London at the time, and I kept debating with myself, I'll just go see it, because I knew after the reviews came out, I knew there were tickets. But I think the reason I never went was ticked, on paper, it ticked all the boxes for me. But I think after I'd heard how supposedly bad it was, I was like, that's going to kill my childhood, and I don't want to do that to myself.
Okay.
So,
Jennifer Saunders, I forgive you. I now blame Lauren.
Jeez, for a play that's not about the Spice Girls' actual lives, that's quite a statement, Lauren.
I know, right?
Killing childhood dreams. Give me what I'm needing. You know what I'm dreaming of. You want to review, share and love our podcast thing.
It sounds like you're hypnotising them.
I think I want a bit of shit.
You know what you're hypnotising us from scratch.
I can't work out how you say it without singing it.
Well, from one hot mess to another, in July 2016, we get the beginnings of Gem. It's coming up to the 21st anniversary of Wannabe,
Wow.
which apparently is a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it made me feel really old.
Made everyone feel
I
old.
didn't know we always celebrated the 21st of songs. Apparently we do. It's their coming of age. They can finally drink in America. There is a website launched with a video stating that 3 of the girls will be doing something for the 20th anniversary of Wannabe. Let's have a watch of the video.
We've been thinking, we have the best bands in the whole entire world.
You've stood by us for 20 years, and we want to say a big thank you.
We've had our ups and downs, but you've always been there.
And we want to celebrate and have a party. And when we do,
You're all invited!
Mwah!
Thank you!
Thank you so much.
So that is the launch video. This is very notable as a launch video because it's the first time that Bluebell was given charge of promotion.
For Geri.
No shade to Bluebell, but I feel like it's something that it looks like high school students made as a project.
It was done very quickly, wasn't it? It all looks like it's shot on mobile.
Geri's got to work the angles better. And the other two nice backgrounds, and then, you know.
Geri's is very big. It's budget.
It is budget.
It's also accompanied by some photos. I feel like there was a clip, but I can't find it just yet, where the three of them are in bed together and they've got party hats on.
Yeah.
And that is the reason why we shot our promo video in bed together.
It was a niche reference, guys.
On as low budget as humanly possible.
I think it was on a better budget than theirs.
It's not just because we have terrible lighting in Karen's house. It's because we were replicating the Gem video.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's fine. But they launched this website and they're saying we've got the best fans and we're going to do something to celebrate. That's nice. I think that's a good...
It's a nice vibe.
Yeah. Behind it.
Yeah.
So we're led to believe it's called Gem because that is the name of the website. Later, Melanie B goes on to say, it was never called Gem. Why are people calling it Gem? It's the newspapers. They're calling it Gem. I mean, yes, that's what we've named the website. That doesn't mean that's what it's called.
Okay.
Notable things. In the picture where they're all in bed and they're wearing party hats, Mel B is wearing 2 party hats.
Oh.
Wondering for me whether there was going to be 4 of them and a 4th didn't turn up on the day.
Nah, I don't think so. They would know Victoria was out, and I think Mel C would be like...
Oh, Mel B was she trying to do like devil horns with party hats or something?
Maybe
I
she's just having fun.
Maybe because the news you're about to tell us, maybe she knew something. You know, there was another member with Geri.
Oh, no. So they don't say what is happening. That's literally all we get is that message. And then in interviews when they're asked, they're saying something is coming. Yeah, we're working up plans for a number of members. They're never really specific about who it is.
Yeah.
But it's highly speculated there will be a gig in Hyde Park the following summer.
Hyde Park, wow.
Yeah.
There'll be a one-off big celebration gig in Hyde Park.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was probably a penciled in the diary for Hyde Park.
Yeah.
Spice Girls.
Yeah.
Contact Bluebell. And the girls were trying to get as many of them on board as possible.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was down to. Can we convince Mel C and Victoria to do it? Mel B has subsequently confirmed that there was a gig, but I never know what to believe with her because she said herself, sometimes she puts stuff out there in the hope it'll come. She's read The Secret.
Yeah.
And she's using her karmic vibe to bring what she wants to her.
Yeah.
To fruition in the world.
Right.
Whatever.
I read The Secret, and I think The Secret is charging $16.99 for a 30-page book that's mostly pictures.
Or go to your library.
Go to your South Lanarkshire Library. Thank you very much.
That was a hot take.
Yeah. Well, what we do get in the November is we get a leak of a single from the 3, Song for Her.
So, it's that for Victoria and Mel C.
Would you like to listen?
Sure. It should be called Song for Hers.
Kids are laughing, it's 4 a.m. Can't help smiling, can't help yawning. Ladder in my tights that I think I'll be climbing forever. My head's in a daze, but the caffeine is fixing, chasing the clock, but I can't stop it ticking. Nobody knows, but I'm barely just keeping it together. I'm spinning, I'm dropping, I'm brushing, I'm dressing. My nights, they all rolling today. This is a song for her. You know you light it up, 'cause you know who you are. Stand up, she's got that boom, boom, pop. That's something they can't stop. She's got that song for her. Life is a river, wherever it's flowing. Jump on a bus, who knows where it's going.
I'm going to come out straight off the bat and say, I mean, when I first heard it, I thought, oh dear God, it sounded cheap. But let's remember this is a leaked demo.
Yes.
It's very raw.
Yeah.
Raw, or is that just Jerry's singing?
Oh.
I did not go for that. I think it's brave to have her as the second vocalist.
Yeah.
But I wonder whether she was just laying down a demo track for Mel C. I would just like to say, imagine Mel C on that. It will pop.
I'm not gonna lie, I was waiting for Mel C to come in, and then I kept being like, wait, of course
Guys,
she's
I
not
was
coming in.
waiting for Victoria.
Oh, she would kill the line, jump on a bus, who knows where it's going.
And she'd be like, jump on the Spice Girls bus, so don't go on any other bus.
I have to say, that is actually my highlight of the Spice Girls movie, is when she drives that bus.
Oh.
In those heels. That is
bloody Sunday drivers. It's only Saturday.
I love that. I love it so much.
I think this song is really nice.
It's got a good popping chorus.
Oh, that chorus comes in.
Yes, it does.
And it's a light is in the air moment.
It is, yeah. Swing.
It is a song for her.
It is.
And I think they've taken a real nice touch here. So they've gone, where is the woman that bought our singles before? She is now a woman or a gay man. Where is the person, the people power that was buying our records? What's happening in their lives now? They've advanced, they've got things going on, they're busy, they're doing stuff. Yeah. And they've tried to write for that experience. And I think, obviously it needs some work.
Yeah. I love all of the mixed references. First it's like, life is a river and it's flowing, and then it's like they're on a bus. And
my favourite is lads are in my tights that I think I'll be climbing forever.
Yeah, okay. Okay, it's not perfect, guys. My head's
careless and carefree. Are those not the same thing?
Yes, they are the same thing. But they're spinning, they're dropping, they're brushing, they're dressing. They're talking about being mothers, and it's nice to have a song written for her. I mean, this song will pass the Bechdel test. Yes. If there was a Bechdel test for songs,
this would pass it.
Dang well should be. Let's make it.
All of the Spice Girls would pass, I feel like.
Not as solo artists.
No. Okay,
I would argue, and then this is nice in verse 2, it's about that girl being a bit lost, she's like, where is that girl? Is she long gone or missing? Can I bring her back? There she is, she's in the mirror. She's shouting like, I've been here forever, you just forgot about me. And it's a bit about self-care,
Yeah.
And when they get back together, they're finding it. I think it's one of the best things that Geri's written on in a long time.
Have they written this? Do we know that for sure?
Well, yes. So it gets leaked, and it's the rumor. This is the new single from Gem. Mm-hmm. This is what's going to be their lead single. They're working on new music. They're going to do this.
Yeah.
Emma in the July afterwards explains on her radio show, Heart FM, the place for all the hot tea. She says, us girls, we love creating stuff in the studio. We went in and just had a laugh. It's not single, it's just us creating. It's a demo, and somehow it's just got out there.
Yeah, it's definitely better than Headlines, I have to say. It's 100 times better.
Oh yeah, they should have probably done something similar and like that instead of Headlines.
I have newfound love for Headlines, so I don't enjoy this hot take on it.
Brackets, friendship never ends.
Yes, open brackets, close brackets. Yeah, I agree with you that I think this could have been a bigger bop. It's a bit more of a banger, and that's what I always say you want. But it's a low-key banger. I can hear this on Radio 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously not Radio 1, but they'll play it on Heart, and that's where I'm listening.
Yeah.
And I found myself singing it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Maybe it just needs a remix. Do you know what I mean? Can Mel C not get on board and call up Hex Hexer? Maybe we can have the second Grammy.
Yes.
Are the Freemasons busy these days?
No.
Can we just get them on board? Could this be that Diplo hit for the summer?
Oh my god, yes.
They did say an old song, they didn't say what. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
All I can hear is like Mel C doing all like the extra, vocal gymnastics at the top of it, hardcore beat kicking in. I could be into it.
Yeah, Mel C would kill that.
Yeah.
Oh, Geri. After that, the whole thing just got so messy.
Yeah.
So there was some rumours at the time that they would perform on the X Factor final that year. And that would be where they announce this Hyde Park gig, they do this big announcement. either as Gem or as the Spice Girls. We didn't know how many people it would be. That sort of makes sense. There's a lot of the girls have been judges on the X Factor. I mean, sort of all times in Simon Fuller.
Yeah.
That didn't happen, but that is the same week that Mel C and Victoria duetted together on To Become One. Little known video footage. So it was the Beckham's New Year's Eve party. Mel C's promoting her version of Me album that year, which is why she said she didn't get involved with Gem. It just wasn't a good time for her.
Yeah, fair enough.
So Mel C is performing at the Beckham's New Year's Eve party. The other girls are not there. I guess their invite got lost in the post or something.
Ooh.
And during Mel C singing To Become One, everyone convinces Victoria to get up on stage, and they have their arms around each other and Victoria sways. They call it karaoke on YouTube, but it really isn't. That's what I predict Victoria will do in this tour as well. That level of involvement.
She's going to come on and sway a bit.
Yeah, which is fine. Like, that's all. I would be surprised if she didn't at one point during the series of tours do it. And then there was that whole thing where Mel was saying they're not called Gem, they're still the Spice Girls. And then there's a thing back and forth where Mel and Victoria saying they're not the Spice Girls without at least one more of us.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not letting them have. And then how much of that was the press taking it, saying? Because I mean, there were stories at one point where it was saying Victoria will not let them perform the songs without her, and she will take them to court and sue and all that.
Can she?
Well, they have joint ownership.
I mean, she wasn't
to my
there for
knowledge.
Wannabe.
But that's a legal dispute because they are listed as joint songwriters. I think they have joint ownership of the songs.
Yeah. I think, to me, that sounds like the press very much just kind of making up potential ideas about it. That doesn't sound like Victoria.
I would be really surprised if that's not.
Yeah.
I think maybe they would have had a conversation where she'd said, like,
really? Yeah, I could see that she might have a conversation kind of like saying, guys, really, like, there's only 3
is
of
this
you.
good for the brand in the long run?
Yes.
Is
She's
this gonna
all
work
about
out?
the brand.
She's all about the branding.
Because the Spice Girls still make a lot of money as a brand.
As a brand,
yeah.
So I think there would have been concerns around that. But definitely not a see you in court.
No.
This isn't a Taylor Swift moment.
Definitely not.
But this whole Gem thing really smacks of Sugar Babes MKS. It's messy and Jeremy don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
And all we really want is the album.
Yeah.
And for MKS to release that album, thank you.
Honestly, get on the leaked one.
I've seen it, I've listened to it on YouTube, but I'd love them to just polish it up. It's fab.
And then that's pretty much the end of what we hear until 2018 when we get the picture of them together. Obviously, there's stories every other week because the Spice Girls are rarely out of the press in that terms. We get some leaked demos that aren't Song for Her Gem ones. There's some early demos from the more, whether a bit more R&B eternal.
Yeah.
Which, if I find time, I will throw the link up on Twitter for you.
Yeah.
But you probably already heard them because our fans are pretty dedicated.
Yeah.
And they'll be sharing extra links I don't know about. Oh, share all your leaked demos, actually.
Oh,
I've got time for that.
Share leaked demos.
Come on, guys. Build the community. And then that'll be pretty much it until 2018.
But of course, Gem didn't materialise because...
Oh, of course. Go on then, Karen. I forgot that.
So the reunion ended up not happening with Gem because Geri fell pregnant. She had just recently got married and they were actively, I believe, trying for a child. She was looking forward to being a mother again. And, you know, she became pregnant with Monty. So
yeah,
it
that
didn't
I don't know whether that would have been the only reason, but yeah,
that's what Mel B
definitely
says in her autobiography, that is the reason he didn't. Whether
would explain why it's been on hold until now.
Yeah, because as we know, the Spice Girls love performing pregnant. You know, it's never stopped.
Well, Jerry's never done it. So maybe Victoria wondered how much hard work it'd be.
Yeah.
I wonder if Bluebell really resents that in Monty then. She was like, this was my chance to do the social media, damn it. And now she's happy because obviously I believe she's in charge of all of their channels.
Yeah. Do we think hypothetically that Gem might re-emerge post-tour this year? Do we think that could happen?
Oh.
No, because they're going to make so much money from touring.
Well, technically they're still Gem, aren't they? They're just Gem double M. That would be a better name, Gem double M.
Gem double M.
Spice Girls is catchy.
So 90s.
It is. I think it's unlikely, but as I've said before, I wouldn't be surprised if they do bits together, bits apart. You know, the way that Mel C and Emma did.
Yep.
I know him so well.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know each other so well.
Because they do indeed. As Emma says, I think it is in the Viva Forever doc, she says, nobody is going to know me as well as these girls do, and that's a little bit scary, but it's okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Scary but okay.
Scary but okay.
Scary but sporty and ginger and posh as well.
Exactly.
Well, that's the last of our mopping up episode. I'm sorry if we've missed anything that was...
I'm
really
sure
wanted
we
to hear
have,
us.
and that you will tell us.
We are not factually perfect.
No, but that's what makes your guys' contribution so valuable to us, because we're constantly learning new things from you guys as well as us telling you some stuff.
And if there is something really major that we've missed out on and you want to let us know, get to us at Pod of the Pops on all social media channels. And maybe we'll do a clear up episode where I apologise for all of the errors and share them out. As you know, we record these in batch, so the things that we hear about you in between, we can only react on online.
But guys, thank you so much for all your sharing and comments.
Yeah.
And we totally appreciate it.
We love you guys.
And sponsors, if you're listening.
Series 2 is not imminent because Erin hasn't got time to do all that work.
No.
Oh, also, if you have any ideas for what you'd like us to cover in Series 2, we have some ideas of our own.
Yeah. Hashtag poor Michelle.
Ooh.
Give it away! I'll cut that
No,
out.
we're not sure.
I'll cut that out. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm spinning, I'm dropping, I'm brushing, I'm dressing. My nights, they all rolling today.
I do need to fart. So.
This is a song for her. You know you light it up, 'cause you know who you are. Stand up, she's got that boom, boom, pop. That's something they can't stop. She's got that song for her.
I've just had a very long time. Let's go.
Do you know that Lauren works full time now?
Oh, cut it out.
Listen, I would love to see you try and make 7 fucking tailored jackets a day.
7, I can make 13.
Excuse me. In a 1-hour photo shoot the other day, I managed to crop 2 fucking costumes. Don't talk to me about tailoring, Lauren.
I'm very proud of you. You're flirting the best.
I had a really hard day, guys. I got my nails done.
They're a nice
They
blue.
are
Oh my god, you
beautiful.
should have seen her trying to distract a 2-year-old. Woo! She looked like one of those inflatable things you get outside a car.
This is a song for her. You know you light it up, 'cause you know who you are. Stand up, she's got that boom, boom, pop. That's something they can't stop. She's got that song for her.
Dum, dum.
Beautiful.
Nailed it.